What is inbreeding and how does it affect families? Let's talk.
Inbreeding is where cousins and other close relatives have children together. Most cultures have strong taboos against it, primarily because of the increased risk of birth defects.
So what are your names?
Ray, Lori, Timmy.
I'm sorry. Who's this?
His name's Ray.
Ray. I remember Ray. I photographed you, Ray. Do you remember? Years ago. And your name is?
Lorraine.
Lorraine. And Timmy.
Yeah.
Now you guys grew up here in Odd, West Virginia. How many years have you lived here?
All her life. All my life.
You're you guys, I mean, did you go to school? You did? Some of your brothers and sisters probably didn't go to school, or how much schooling did they get?
They didn't went to school long, but he graduated.
You graduated from what?
We were from high school.
You went to high school, Timmy?
Yeah, he went to high school on back.
And how about you, Lorraine?
No, she didn't went to school.
She didn't. And
no, they didn't went to school.
B. Of course, there can be some very serious consequences to inbreeding, particularly when it's sustained over multiple generations. Genetic diversity is important, and inbreeding erodes that. There are some dramatic, tragic examples of the dangers of sustained inbreeding.
What are you eating tonight for dinner? A sandwich. So you grew up here in Odd, West Virginia, your whole life. And your family, you lost your brother since I was here last.
Come on, Ray.
So let's look at a simple hypothetical and consider the case of two cousins who carry the same dangerous recessive gene, say, the one linked to cystic fibrosis, who marry and have 4 children. Since both parents carry one benign, dominant allele and one dangerous, recessive allele, there are 3 possible outcomes. Of the 4 kids, we would expect one to inherit both dominant alleles, meaning she is no longer a carrier. 2 of the children would inherit one dominant and one recessive allele, meaning they are still carriers. And 1 child would inherit both recessive alleles, meaning he would suffer from cystic fibrosis. In a single generation of inbreeding, the risk of cystic fibrosis has hypothetically jumped from 0.1% in the general U.S. population to a whopping 25% for the children of this particular inbreeding couple.
So, I hear stories about your family, that your parents were brother and sister or cousins or something like that. Nothing like that. But the mental disorder that Ray has, what is that from?
I don't know. I don't know what caused it.
But Freddie and Ray and Timmy are both kind of have that same, and Lorraine too has the same thing. What do you suppose that the cause of that might have been?
I don't know what caused it.
You don't know? Timmy, you went to high school, right?
Get up. Get up. Oh, hi.
Timmy, tell me about what you remember of your parents. Can you tell me anything? Lorraine, what can you remember of your family?
The real risks of inbreeding. That's an alarming figure, of course, and for many that sort of increased risk is likely to confirm all the taboos about the dangers of inbreeding. And yes, it would be silly to pretend such risks don't exist. But still, while we all carry the genes for such potentially deadly conditions, not all autosomal recessive disorders are so easily activated, with many requiring multiple generations of inbreeding before becoming a serious problem. There does tend to be a gradual decrease in reproductive fitness and general health. Children of inbreeding tend to have more trouble having kids and are slightly sicklier, and that gets worse over time, but those don't preclude such children from living rich, full lives.
Inbreeding is nothing new. All through slavery, slave owners forced families to inbreed, and that was crazy. But the dominant society has always believed in inbreeding. They believe that to keep their bloodline strong, they would inbreed within the family. They would not go outside the family. They would try to find cousins and so-called distant relatives. But to me, it's all sick. We see this family is suffering from years and years of inbreeding. It's crazy how Black people don't realize the people they praise and uphold in the high esteem. Inbreeding is just a form of incest. And I was reading up on it. I haven't really completely. I'm going to do a couple more segments on the inbreeding. But a lot of people believe there's nothing wrong with it. They believe the further down the line you go, then the effects of inbreeding don't count. It's sick. And we need to stop praising and worshiping people who believe it's okay to inbreed within a family. And they have inbred so many places for so long that their bloodline is basically trash because they cannot reproduce. And that brings me to another point. Why they changed miscegenation laws. Because a lot of the dominant society cannot breed properly because a lot of them are inbred. So they allow the opposite race to come in and replenish their bloodline so they're able to recreate more and then get back to being the dominant racist society that they are. Understand the games they're playing on your mind. I'm Mama Rain. Like, share, and subscribe. And as always, have a great day and don't forget to leave that comment. Bye.
Ray, do you remember your brother Freddie? Freddie, your brother? Ray, your brother Freddie. Do you remember him? Do you miss him? Do you miss your brother? What's over there? What is it? Oh, is that Freddie's grave? Is that Freddie's grave?